Last week we started a two-part series that we called Predicting Your Future. So let me ask you a question. How many of you have difficulty when you drive, going to a place, a new place, and then finding it? Any of you have any difficulty finding new places?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah? In the States? You got problems finding places? I have a sister. My sister's name is Dawn. That's one of my sisters. I got several of them. But one of my sisters' name is Dawn, and she has a real problem. We lived in the States for a while, but anytime she needed to go to a new doctor or to a new office, she had, no matter how much you give her the address and say, this is where you go, she could not find it. She always asked me, bro, can you please drive with me to the location? Let me see where it is. Let me mark all the markers along the way so that I can find it on my own when I'm ready to go to the doctor next week. So she always got to plan it a week ahead. Because she has difficulty finding new places. Now me, I go at once and I can find it. Give me a map, give me some directions, and I can find my way. Doesn't matter where, whether I've been there before or not. The other day when I had to take Sister Dot over to Fort Lauderdale, I had never been to that place before, but I took a map. No problem. Let's find it. But some people have difficulty and they tend to get lost. So, Andy Stanley gives us a little, what do you want to say? A little idea about lostness. So, here's what he says about lostness. He says, first of all, people don't get lost on purpose. You agree? You don't get lost on purpose. I mean, you just go get in the car and you think you're going the right way, and next thing you know, you're lost. So you don't get lost on purpose. Number two, we are lost before we know we're lost. You agree to that? Because if we knew we were lost, if we knew before that, we could easily back up and get unlost. You with me? Yes. Number four. Now this one is crazy, but you all know this, right? I don't know, but men drive faster when they are lost. There's no explanation for it, but they just keep rolling. And you know what? For the most part, we don't want to ask anybody. We don't want to ask anybody for no direction. We think we know it, so let's get rolling. That's the tendency by men. Number four is this. We wind up where the road we're on ends up. And that's true no matter who you are. That's true for everybody. That's regardless of your sex, regardless of your status, regardless of your salary, regardless of your political affiliation. It doesn't matter. We wind up where the road we're on ends up. That's how it goes. So, what's obvious when you're driving is not always obvious when you're living. And just as there are roads, physical roads, highways, and paths that have predictable outcomes, so there are predictable outcomes for every area of life. Every area of life. Now, last week, we introduced you to a principle, and I hope you can remember that principle. And I believe it will make sense of what I'm going to talk about this morning. which the title is Your Intention, please, you will remember that we coined the idea of the principle of the path. Everybody that? Mm-hmm. And the principle of the path says direction determines destination. The direction you are going will determine where you end up. That's true geographically when you're driving. That's true financially. Wherever you decide, direction you decide to go in your finance, that's where the way you're going to end up. Professionally, it's the same way. Relationally, it's the same thing. Your direction will determine your destiny. Morally, the direction you go morally will determine where you end up. And the same is true spiritually. It is also, if I could coin another word, it's also true marriagingly. That's a new word. Or marriagingly. Or parentingly. You understand my idea. Is that in your marriage, it is going to depend on the direction you go in your marriage will determine whether or not you're successful or not. It will determine where you reach, what your destination is. If you're parenting, the same is true. The principle of the path is direction determine your destination. And this has universal application. Universal application. The direction you're moving always determines. And to take it a step further, if I were to ask you a question and say to you, where do you want to be financially 2 years from now? And all of you will have some idea as to where you want to end up. If I say to you, where do you want to end up academically? Those of you who are in school right now. And I say, well, where do you want to end up academically? In 2 years, where do you see yourself? You will have an idea. You will have an indication. You will have some thought about where you want to end up. You'll say, if in finance, you might say, I want to be independent. I want to be out of debt. Professionally, you might say, well, in 2 years, maybe I want to be X, Y, Z in the company. Or maybe you say, hey, 2 years from now, I want to have my own company. Relationally, you young folks, you're dating, you're going with somebody, and I say, well, where do you see yourself 2 years from now? Well, maybe 2 years from now, I see marriage in the making, or maybe not, But you'll have an intention of where you want to be. We all have an intention of what we want down the road, where we want our destination to be. But we often have a disconnect between our intention and the direction we want to take. You understand what I'm saying? God, and I don't believe God wants us. He doesn't want us to be victims of this disconnect that we have. Because we all know that direction is going to trump our intention every single time. Think about that. The direction you travel is going to trump, and I don't mean Donald Trump either. It's going to trump, it's going to win over that intention that you have every single time. Think of it like this. Single gal, she says, I want to meet and I want to marry a Christian young man man of values, a man who's got his feet on the ground. But in the meanwhile, I'll date whoever comes along. Think about direction, right? Someone else will say, oh, I want to be financially free. I want to be out of debt in 2 years or 3 years, whatever the time frame. But in the meantime, debt is just one of those things in life. So, when I go to Miami, I'll just pull out my credit card or my debit. No problem. Or you're a married person, married woman, and you said, I want to have a great relationship with my husband. I want to make sure that we have it together. When the kids are grown, I'll make him a priority. Think direction. Or a husband might say, I want to have really a good family. I want to make sure my kids they want to be with us all the time, and they want to be with each other, and even when they don't have to be, we just want them to have a good relationship. In the meantime, I'll work all day, all night, all week, every day, and I won't have any time for them. Direction. Young Christian says, I want to develop a close intimacy with Jesus. You ask him, yeah, I want to love Jesus. I want to serve him. I want to be a good example. I want to do it. In the meantime, I'll get up in the morning, and instead of having my time with Jesus, I'll simply read the newspaper or go on my cell phone and chat on Facebook. Correct. Or you might say, well, you know what? This applies to those of us who are older. I'm getting old. I want to have a good time. I want to spend time with my grandchildren. I want to make sure that we have a good relationship with my grandchildren. But in the meantime, I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. I'm going to eat too much. I'm going to drink too much. I'm not going to take care of my health. And yet, we say we want to. You with me? You following? The intention is disconnected from the direction or the path. Newlyweds determined to be financially secure by the time they reach their parents' age, but in the meantime, they adopt a lifestyle of debt, and they leverage their assets. Life just goes on. You see, your direction will determine where you end up. Your direction, not your intention, will determine your destination. Young folks, you may probably say, you know what? When I meet the right person, I'll change. When I make more money, then I'll change. Or maybe you're in college and you say, I want to have a really good GPA. You're in high school. I want to make a really good GPA so that I will have options when I'm ready to select my colleges. But in the meantime, I'm going to play on my cell phone, I'm going to play video games, I'm going to watch movies, and school will have direction. Think about it, right? So, you say, wow, Pastor, how did you know that? But you know what? Somebody always knows. That's right. Somebody always knows. Because And sometimes someone's trying to tell you, they drop little hints to you, but you don't want to listen. Or you got other things you want to occupy your mind. But here's the deal. You are unique. You are unique. But your story is not. Okay? Your path is not. And your destination is not. So, I want to introduce you today to a story. It's sort of a parable. There was a wise king, this happened about 900 BC. Wise king, his name is Solomon. My slide. A wise King Solomon. And wise King Solomon had some of his young men. He was like a counselor. And unfortunate thing about it, he wrote a lot of the Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and all of these good songs. And he gave really good advice. And then, the problem is, he didn't live out, he was good in paper. He was a good paper person. He knew how to write. And he was paper-wise, textbook-wise. But he didn't have a living out wise strategy. So that at the end of his life, he basically discarded all the wise stuff that he had given. But when he had his sense in place, he was wise. And this is the way he introduced the parable. I believe it's a parable. Could maybe true, maybe in a true story, but I'm not sure. But here is the story. He says, at the window of my house. So Solomon is looking out from upstairs, looking out through his house. He says, from the window of my house, I look down through the lattice. I'm sort of spying out on the situation. By the way, let me set the stage for you. The story has two main characters. It has a silly, naive young man. And it has a seductive, what's the right word? That's the word? Seductive married woman. Now, that's not to say that all married women are seductive. All women are seductive. That's not the point I'm making. And neither am I saying that all men are naive, although they may be. But he says, I looked down and I saw through the lattice, and as I was looking out, peering out, I saw the simple. And I noticed among the young men, a youth who lacked judgment. One translator said he lacked sense. Now, how do you get sense? You get judgment through time and through experience. That's how you get it. And this young man, of course, he had neither time nor experience. And therefore he was naive. And so he don't keep up with me, bro. Keep up, all right? Here we go. He looks out through the window, he sees this young man, and this young man is naive. And so he goes down the street, Solomon said. By the way, Solomon, remember, is the writer. So he's the narrator. He's telling the story. He says he goes down the street near her corner, walking in the direction. You see that? That's our word. That's our word. In the direction of her house at twilight. He knows what's going on. All right? And he's up to it. As the day was fading, as the dark of night set in. Oh, sounds like interesting situation going on here. Two perspectives. There is that young man, there's that narrator, and if the music was playing, if Brother Gray was on the piano and there was some music playing, there'll be two different tracks going on here. One is the young man, the other is the narrator. And the young man is thinking, let's go on. Verse 10. And then out came a woman to meet him, dressed like a prostitute with crafty intent. Next verse. She is unruly and defiant. This young man is, Solomon is is building his case, and he's using hyperbole. Watch this. He says, she is unruly. Those of you in high school should know that word. She is unruly and defiant. Her feet never stays at home. She is a street wanderer, right? Now in the street, now in the squares, at every corner she lurks. And then she says, she took a hold of him, and she kissed him. And with brazen face she said, today I have filled my vows. I have food from my fellowship offerings at home. Woohoo! Things are really going to be hot and juicy, sweet here. Now, we don't know what that fellowship offering is. That's some kind of, it's probably some kind of religious ceremony. We don't know whether it's Canaanite ceremony or whether it's a Jewish ceremony, but there's some kind of ceremony. And basically what she's saying is this, Brother Basil, I went to the temple and I paid my dues. I brought my offering. I emptied my sin bucket. Come, let's fill it up again. That's what she's saying. Right there. I have food from my fellowship offering. I'm not a bad person. I went to the temple and I did my stuff. And then she says, she gets it very personal. She says, I came out to meet you, not somebody else. I'm looking for you. I looked for you and I found you. And I have covered my bed with colored linens from Egypt and moving along. And I have perfumed my bed with myrrh and aloes and cinnamon. Boy, this sounds like some heavy stuff. I'm all ready for you, boy. Come on. So come. Let's drink deeply of love till morning. This little X-rated now, but that's all right. Let's enjoy ourselves with love. That's what he says. Wow. You came out to meet me? Ooh, that means I'm special. That's what he's thinking. Boy, I'm special. You came out looking just for me. And the narrator is thinking, no, you are an idiot. And he's thinking, I'm one in a million. And the narrator is thinking, no, you one of a million. As we shall see later on in this story. I've covered my bed, perfume, myrrh, aloes, cinnamon. You got to understand that. Because that doesn't mean much to us. You don't put no myrrh and aloes and cinnamon in our bed stuff. That don't make sense to us. But back there, that made a lot of sense. And here's why. Back in ancient days, everybody stunk. Smell bad. It was nothing but body odor. Smelled like manure. Like chicken manure. That's how it smelled. Cow manure, whatever. That's how everybody stank. Because nobody knew anything about deodorant. Nobody knew about toothbrush. They had no toothpaste. You get the message? You understand what she's saying? Look, only the rich and the poor had anything even near the toothpaste and that kind of stuff. You know. So what's she saying? What did she tell this young man? Look, baby. Look. I'm gonna rescue you from this polluted world that's out there, and I'm gonna bring you into an environment of beauty and joy and happiness and fun, and it's gonna feel good, and it's also gonna smell good. See that perfume? It's just gonna be perfect. So come, let's drink of love, she says, deeply till morning. Let's enjoy ourselves with love. The next verse says, with persuasive words, she led him astray. And you know what? He's thinking. Boy, can't really handle it. Don't worry. You know, it's all things hard to figure out now. So she says to him, don't worry, my husband is not at home. He's gone on a long journey, and he took his purse. Now, that could be kind of confusing, because maybe you might be thinking that's why she's out on the street, because he took his purse. Maybe he's... Anyway, y'all didn't get that. But the real translation is this. He took a bag of money, and he won't be home until full moon. What is she telling this young man? We've got plenty of time. We can live it up because we don't have to worry about my husband coming home. He's not going to catch us, and, you know. The message is this. It's all right as long as we don't get caught. There are no consequences as long as nobody knows. Isn't that how we all think? That's what happens. Nobody knows, so don't have no problem. We got plenty of time. So it says with persuasive words, she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. Keep in mind what we're talking about. Then it says, what happened next? What's this? No? All at once. What he did? What he did?
He followed her.
What he did?
He
followed her. Of course I follow her. What are you talking about? We're going to have a night of passion. It's going to be awesome. What are you talking about, follow? Yes, I followed her. He's thinking, man, I'm a celebrity. She came out looking just for me. She found me. She's got the bed all made. She's delivering me from this polluted world. Man, what are you talking about? I followed her. Man, I'm a celebrity. I passed all the people on the line at the club. Move right along, right up to the door, in front, past the bouncer to get the best seat in the house. And you know, the narrator is thinking something different. He's thinking, no, like an ox. That's what you are. Like an ox led to the slaughter. Come on, Solomon. What are you talking about? Ain't nothing to that. Like, Solomon's not finished yet. Like a deer stepping into the noose until an arrow pit. Oh, come on. You're really being too graphic, Solomon. What's up? Like a bird, darting into a snail, little knowing it will cost him his, cost me my life. Maybe it might cost me a little money, may cost me a little time, but my life, Solomon, you're too dramatic. Oh, that's so. And then, Then the narrator pulls himself out of the story. And he speaks directly to the young man that he has in front of him. Remember, he was upstairs overlooking, spying out on these other young men that were walking out there, and he saw this young man. So now he pulls himself out of the parable, out of the story, and now he's speaking directly to the young man that's in front of him. And he says, listen, my sons. Listen to me. Don't let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her ways? Paths? I thought it was just a one night. What are you talking about? Ways and paths. Listen, he said, don't go into her ways, because her ways and her paths, that sounds like a road. That sounds like we are traveling somewhere. That sounds like we're going somewhere. But he goes on, he says, many are the victims she has brought down. Her slain are a mighty throng. Your direction has a destination tied to it. And the point Solomon is making is this. What we intend to be a simple diversion, what we expect that will be a simple diversion, is actually a direction with unintended destination. That's the point. We often intend to be simply a sidebar. I'm telling you. We just think, just this one time, just this, turns out to be a direction which is going to lead us somewhere. Listen, that's what he said. Her house. Her house is a highway. What do you mean by a house is a highway? A house is a house. Not a house is a highway. But because her ways and her paths, her lifestyle is going to lead you, young man, that lead you somewhere, it's a highway. And it's a highway to, oh my goodness. It's a highway to the grave, and it leads down to the chambers. Ooh. Can you see that chamber? You know, you go down out here to the on Gladstone Road, over the hill, just as you go over the hill there, they have a graveyard, right? And I think, do they have those mausoleum type things? Huh? They have those? Huh? Huh? A few of them, right? Chamber of death. What's something say? What began as a sidebar, sort of a diversion, is actually a highway that leads somewhere. And what appeared to be a pastime was really a pathway. He thought that was just a pastime. Just walking down the street, middle of the night, evening, meet a married woman, and da-da-da, we go spend the night together, we have fun, husband away, no problem, just a pastime. But really, it was a pathway. It was a direction that was going to lead somewhere. Again, you are unique, but your experience is not. Your pathway is not either, and neither is the destination. Because your direction determines your destination. And it is very much predictable. It's predictable by someone. Somebody can see, remember we said last week, somebody can see what you cannot see. And somebody can see what you probably can see but don't want to see and won't see. And I don't want. I wish somebody had told me all of this kind of stuff long ago. But I don't want. And I know you don't want. And your Heavenly Father does not want you to have that disconnect between what you intend and your destination. At the end of the day, it's not your intention, but it's your direction that determines your destination. So, I want to add a word, another part, to our definition of the principle of the power. And it says, direction, not intention, determines your destination. Your direction, not your intention, determines your destination. So here's some more homework for you to do. I'd like you to do something. I'd like you to go home and get a shoebox or any small box. Don't write this down. And what I want you to do is this, 4 things. 1, get the box. 2, I want you to gather all the fun stuff that you had, that you've done. Just put them all the fun stuff you've done, put them in the box. And then collect all the money that you've wasted. All the money that you've wasted. And put it in the box. And then, number 4, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take it, put it on the counter, and look at it. Just stare at it. And then, I want you to do something else. One thing more. I want you to then think of those moments, those special moments, when you went out of your way to help someone in need. Like the hurricane situation. I want you to think about that. Think of that. Think of when you were the most generous. Think about the moment when you were less about you. Think about those moments. And then ask yourself a question. What do I want more of? Ask yourself. What do I want more of? And here's the point. You see, fun is always in the rearview mirror. Always there. But satisfaction, because that's what you feel when you have contributed to somebody else's life. When you've given of yourself, there's a sense of satisfaction that comes to you. But satisfaction is a walking companion. It goes along with you. But fun is in the rear view. Satisfaction always results from arriving at the destination that you intended. That's where you get satisfaction. That's where you get satisfaction. And Jesus said, "Come, follow me, and I will provide for you life abundant. Come, follow me, and I will make your life meaningful. Out of you will come a well of living water, symbolizing satisfactions for your thirst. That's what he says. So take a minute and think about that. Think about your life. Let me ask you this. Are there any disconnects in your life? Are there any disconnects where what you intend for your destination and what the road you are traveling, are they the same? Or is there a disconnect between your intention? I want to be, I want to do, but presently I'm doing the opposite. Ask yourself, are there any discrepancies between what you desire in your heart and what you're doing with your life? The path you're on. Is it in alignment between, is there an alignment between your intention and your direction? Are you living in the wrong direction? That's what I'm asking. And so, here are the steps I want you to take today. 1, ask yourself, in what area do I need to make a U-turn? You know, you go down, traveling down Prince Charles Independence Highway, get down to the light opposite R.M. Bailey, you realize, wait a minute, I'm going in the wrong way. So what do? You make a U-turn. Which area in your life, whether it's financial, whether it's morally, whether it's academically, whether it's in your marriage, which area you need to make a U-turn? Then, next, what steps can you take this week, maybe even today, to change directions? Ask yourself. Then I invite you to sign up for small groups. Or maybe you may be one of those persons who have the skill. Maybe this might be the step you need to take. You may need to volunteer to lead a small group. The bottom line is this. Direction, not intention, determines your destination. So young folks, what destination you want to go? You older folks, what's your destination? Because the direction you go in determines your destination. Father, as we pray, as we bow our heads before you, we ask that you will speak as only you can speak. Take the words from Solomon. The story from Solomon. Help us not to be naive, simpletons. Help us, Lord, to listen, to hear what you have to say. We don't want to enter the chambers of death in our lives, even while we're living. Speak, Lord. Speak. Change us. Change me from the inside out, so that I may be the kind of person that you want, walking in the right direction, so that we may end up the right destination. For Jesus' sake. Amen.
Give me you. Everything else can wait. Give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Give me you. Everything else can wait. Lord, give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord,